How does one person become the literal beating heart of a football club? I mean, really think about that. Today, we're talking about a man who wasn't just a player, he was his club. This is the story of Billy Bonds.
You know, The Guardian just nailed it with this one. Few have ever embodied their side more than Billy Bonds. His passing at 79 really made the entire football world stop and remember what a true one-club legend actually looks like.
And all you had to do was look at the scenes at the London Stadium to understand. The emotion, it was just pouring out of the place. This was more than just saying goodbye to a great player. This was a family mourning one of its own. There's a reason they called him Mr. West Ham.
So how does a legend like that get made? How does a kid from Southeast London become the soul of the Hammers? Well, we got to go back to the very beginning.
It all kicked off at Charlton, but the big moment came in 1967. A £50,000 transfer. Now that might not sound like a lot today, but back then, it was a serious investment. Turns out West Ham wasn't just buying a player, they were buying their future.
And when he got there, he didn't just join the team, he became its engine. And think about this. In 1974, he took over as captain from the one and only Bobby Moore. I mean, can you imagine the pressure of filling those shoes? But Billy Bonds, he was built for it.
You see, in that West Ham midfield, you had the perfect partnership. You had the artist, the maestro, Sir Trevor Brooking, and then you had his bodyguard, Billy Bonds. He was the enforcer, the guy forever caked in mud, who made sure the artist had a clean canvas to paint on.
2. Just look at that number. That's how many times he lifted the FA Cup as West Ham's captain. No other skipper in their entire history has done that. Not one. The man was just a born winner.
And this list speaks for itself. It was a golden age. But that 1980 FA Cup win? That's the stuff of pure legend. They were in the second division. They were the underdogs, and he led them out of Wembley to beat Arsenal. That's a Hollywood movie script right there.
4. 4 times, the fans voted him their Hammer of the Year. And that tells you everything. That's not a stat. That's a feeling. The supporters saw a guy giving every last drop of sweat for that shirt, and they loved him for it.
Trophies are amazing, don't get me wrong, but what made Billy Bonds an absolute icon was his loyalty, a word that, let's be honest, feels like it's from a different era of football.
799. Just let that number sink in for a moment. That's how many appearances he made for West Ham. It's a club record that's not just going to be hard to break, it's completely, utterly untouchable. I mean, the man's commitment was just off the charts. He actually retired, but when the club was in trouble with injuries, what did he do? He answered the call. At 41 years old, he was back out there fighting for the club. That's not just dedication, that's love.
And the fans knew it. They saw it every single week. This comment says it all, right? He was the heart and soul. Sometimes, it felt like his sheer will was the only thing standing between the club and disaster.
So when the news of his passing came out, the reaction was so raw, like losing a family member. That tells you everything you need to know about the bond he built with the people in the stands. He was one of them.
But his story with West Ham didn't just end when he stopped playing. Oh no. Even after he hung up the boots for good, he was far from finished serving the club. He just seamlessly transitioned from player to youth coach to in 1990, the first team manager. And he brought that exact same fire with him to the dugout, guiding them through tough times and getting them promoted twice.
And yeah, the official recognition came rolling in. An MBE, Lifetime Achievement Awards, but the ultimate tribute, the one that's going to last forever, they named a stand after him at the London Stadium, the Billy Bonds Stand. That's immortality.
And that's really the heart of it, isn't it? For nearly 3 decades, Billy Bonds wasn't just in the history books at West Ham, he was the history. He was the grit, the determination, and the unbreakable bond between the pitch and the terraces.
So it leaves us all with a pretty big question. In today's world of football, with constant transfers and global brands, what can a story like Billy Bonds teach us? What's the value of a legend who was defined not by money, but by his absolute loyalty to one single club?